Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Yes, this is USA Global TV and Radio, and it is a Sunday here in the United States of America. I know it's Monday in other parts of the world. We are thrilled to have you with us. Welcome home. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and this is a brand new show, a special event called Energy. What is energy? How do we use energy? How do we manifest energy? Can we manifest energy? We're going to have answers to all these questions by the end of our segment today. So today's show is featuring two fabulous people, one who is co-hosting with me and one who is our special guest. Let me bring out Rebecca Lilley, and we will talk about her background. Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Also, thank you. I'm super excited. You were introduced to me in the platform by a mutual friend, and I really appreciate connections, how this platform keeps growing and growing. I've had the opportunity to interview you a few times, and I've really enjoyed it. It seems like it could be almost 2 years ago. I'm not sure. But you are a fashionista. You're a financier. You also are a personal stylist, and you are the founder of your own business. Tell us a little bit more about you and your work, and then we'll bring out our special guest.
Yes, thank you. So when I was working in finance, I found that a lot of people were unhappy with the dark wardrobe with black, grey and navy, and they wanted to express their personality a bit more within the remit of appropriate business wear. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to take men and women on a journey of the passage to poise and educate them on clothes that fit and flatter them. And this leads us on to energy, because the clothes would dictate how people would behave often, and the colors would represent them and their personality, and in some cases influence their aura and how they behave. So I think that color in how you dress and how you represent yourself can actually increase or decrease your opportunities in life, which leads us on to energy.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I do want to be honest and let you know that I was going to wear my traditional black today, but I decided not to. I decided to lift my energy up by wearing pink. So you've brought someone very special to USA Global TV and Radio. Can you tell us a little bit about Martina?
So Martina is just an amazing sort of trailblazer in the world of spirituality. She is a unique healer and is a part of the mystery school. And that is along the lineage of King Solomon. But she also has an innate ability to sort of read energy and apply her services to in a bespoke way to each and every one of her clients, with the onus of understanding themselves, and then they can understand and interact with the wider world in a better, more coherent way. She's a very special woman in terms of the way she can understand energy manifestation methods, a beautiful soul, a very kind woman who puts her heart and soul into each and every client.
That is a beautiful introduction. And I just want to share that prior to meeting Martina in person, was it yesterday, I think, you've spoken about her so many times and about how she's helped change your life and given you new ways to look at energy, especially in your new work that you're doing, helping people with style and fashion. So without further ado, I want to welcome Martina Coogan to the program. Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for this very, very beautiful opportunity and for the very kind introduction.
Oh,
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Martina. And by
much.
the way, I feel the positive energy coming from both of you. So, Martina, I'd love for you to share a little bit about what your interpretation is about the word energy, because it brings different thoughts to people's minds. What does it mean to you?
Well, energy is everything, and we are engaged in energy at all times, whether we're aware of it or not. And from the first breath we take, we come in and we are vibrating our unique essence, our unique energy in this world that is vibrating so many energies. The universe has its pulse, nature has its pulse. And I think there's over 7 billion beautiful people on the planet right now, and each of them have their own energy frequency that they express themselves with. So there's a lot of energy flowing at all times. And we're living our energetic expression. We're either in alignment and flow with it, or we're carrying something that's not our true essence. It's an energy that got maybe imposed on us, or we've taken it on from others. So energy is a very big word. It's a very big concept, and it's something I could talk about for a very long time.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Martina, you are an international teacher and you're also the CEO of the Advanced Spiritual Institute. What type of work do you do there?
I do everything from the basics of meeting somebody who's come because there's a blockage in their energy and they have a pain, they have a disconnect, and they want to realign that. And I work with the individual to get them back to that state of who they truly are, to be their true expression, to be their own energy versus the energy of others, or taking on the systems that are not theirs and blocking their energetic fields. And then I teach people how to do that for themselves. And that's my favorite thing. My favorite thing is to get people unblocked, be able to help them, to show them how to align with their own flow, their own energy, and then teach them, train them so that they can do this for themselves every day. And then I'm an international instructor traveling for the last 20 years all over the world to help teach people how to do that for other people so that we don't have to live in misery. We don't have to live in pain. We don't have to live in discomfort.
It's absolutely beautiful. I love the fact that you teach people how to do it for themselves. So
Yes.
sometimes when I meet someone, they're doing coaching or mentoring or something in that realm, and people are staying with them for years and years and years, and they're never seemingly to transcend forward. And it sounds like you've broken that pattern and say, no, little bird, go out on your own. Here's what you need to do.
Yes, my goal is immediately to get my client to be independent and to be able to be in the flow of their own universe and of the universe and the world around them. So that's when we live in joy. That's when and that is following a system that has been around for thousands of years. So I'm not alone doing that. There's a whole team of us that do that. And it's very exciting and it's very positive and it's extremely powerful.
And something that you just mentioned, I want to pull Rebecca in on this, is you can tell how someone's showing up, their energy, sometimes by the way they're dressed, their posture, how they're standing, how they carry themselves. What are your thoughts about this for our viewing audience, about how we show up and what that says about our energy? I'll start with Martina and then go to Rebecca.
Yes, absolutely. Before we speak, we express our energy. When we meet somebody for the first time, whether it's a business meeting, whether it's a family, whether it's a first date, we express ourselves in our energetic field around us before we even speak. And we make decisions on that. And we do it mostly subconsciously. And then we do it, of course, consciously as well. So we want to go out into the world expressing our energy positively. And to do that, it's all of us. And Rebecca, of course, will be able to give us a lot more information. She can put amazing clothes on people, but they won't be able to wear them. Because if their energy, if their mental field, if their emotional field, if their aura has clutter in it, has obstacles in it, has blocks in it, that has to cleaned up, because the designer outfit, they won't be able to carry it. It won't look good. She's going to be putting multiple outfits on them, and their field will be showing the disconnect that they have within themselves. So that's why beauty is both inner and outer.
Excellent points. Thank you so much. Rebecca, what would you like to add to this discussion?
I would just like to say that an interesting story that when I was working in finance, I thought that I had to be have a sort of cold masculine energy, and my wardrobe would reflect that. And it was very kind of a forced masculine presence that I was trying to emulate. And I think what's really interesting is that that's actually not who I naturally am. And how I would describe energy is a subconscious Wi-Fi radiating a signal of how what your subconscious beliefs and principles are. And there's actually been quite a lot of interesting studies about can we separate DNA from emotions, and how much of our DNA has a sort of mysterious energy that people pick up on. And there is actually proof for that. There's an unexplained energy in our DNA. But the beauty of Martina's work is that, you know, you don't have to live with a blockage in your energy. Martina's changed my life, and I didn't have to, in my way of work or in my everyday life, carry this tough energy that wasn't manifesting abundance and prosperity. It was trying to force and chase it. And the beauty of this subconscious Wi-Fi is when you're aware of it, and when you're aware of that energy, it can be changed and blocked. And that's the beauty of what Martina does.
A lot of great points there also. Thank you, Rebecca. From what you both said today, something that came to mind for me, and maybe this has happened to other people, but I'd love to have Rebecca and Martina have you comment on it. I was in corporate up until 2020, and I've always dressed a little on the flashy side. Okay. I've always had long nails and blonde hair. And anyway, at one point in my, actually 2 points in my career, I was told that I needed to tone it down and that I would be intimidating prospective clients. So I dyed my hair brown. I stopped wearing red nail polish and red lipstick, and I conformed, and I wore different kind of suits than what I was wearing. And I really didn't feel like I was me. And I felt really sad for a period of time, but I did what it was I was told I was supposed to be doing. And I would love to have you address that, because this is probably going on all the time in business, right? Especially in corporate. You know, you fit in with this brand, but meanwhile you hired me and I look this way, but now I'm supposed to be that way. So I'm going to start with Martina again.
Yes, this is how a lot of clients present themselves to me. You know, they go into a career, and then they have to, whatever field it might be, they have to embody what is expected of that. But that's not true energetic flow. It's not true expression of their energy. And yes, there may be guidelines that has to be followed, but we have this innate energy inside of us that has to flow. And the minute that we start suppressing that, and if you know, if I had met you then and spoken to you, the first thing I would ask you is, you know, how does it feel when you start to become this version of you? What type of energy do you feel? What type of things? And most likely you can answer, you know, you probably come back to me and say that you started to feel suppressed and you started to feel down, and your energetic frequency would start to flow more negative than positive.
Absolutely. I totally agree with what you're saying. And it's interesting, Rebecca, I'm going to go over to you. I've also been told, and again, it's not about me, but I know this happens to people. I've also been told, you don't need to wear makeup. Why are you wearing makeup? I like makeup. I like wearing makeup. I feel good about wearing makeup. But yet people just throw out these opinions, and it does affect my energy, because I feel like, why don't you worry about what you're doing and how you look and how you feel? Rebecca.
Well, what I'd say, a couple of things to that is that, you know, why do we go to work? You've got to see in the energetic realm, money as a vehicle for fulfillment and abundance, and you're entitled to flows of money. So when you're suppressing how you're getting the money, or you're forcing it, which is what I did, I'm not a fan of fake it till you make it and creating an alter ego persona to be something else. I found that money and abundance flows to me when I'm authentically fulfilled and I'm being my authentic self. So I think that a makeup and self-expression and your clothes is your inherent right to express yourself, and nobody can take that away from you. I remember at school, and the teachers always used to tell me off for wearing makeup, and I refused. I said, I'm not taking my makeup off. I sort of at 14 years old, I said, that's my self-expression. That's who I want, how I want to be shown. And I think it's really important to get the balance right of, you know, what your self-expression is, and doing that in the best way of your showing your identity and representing yourself, but also being authentic in that way, not just a method of survival. Because as I said, and as Martina's work does, it's a flow of prosperity, and by flowing authentically, you're not having a blockage to money, which is why we go to work in the first place.
Thank you. Martina, anything you'd like to say in response to what Rebecca said?
Absolutely. And when we're in, you know, when we go into that authentic place and we're flowing, we're enhancing our energy. And if wearing makeup enhances your energy, then you should wear makeup, because it's our choice. If wearing black enhances your energy, then you should wear that, you know. But it's about me choosing versus being forced, because there's a very different energy in that. And of course, there's some professions where, you know, you wear a uniform, right? And some people will tell me, I love that. I love to wear a uniform because I know that within that, I am this version of me. And then I take that off and I go out into the world and I'm another true version of myself. But it's when others are forcing their energy and your energy, we have this kind of entanglement and we have this push. And then what happens is that the energy gets blocked and it gets suppressed, and it feels like rough, it feels dirty, it feels contaminated. And that's where, you know, what I love to do is I love to teach people how to clean that and set themselves free of that, so that you can be you without the other people's energy coming in on you. And I think that's where, you know, the corporate, that's where the family, that's where the relationships, we can enhance or we can limit. And that energy, it's a very different frequency. We all know what it feels like inside. So we've all experienced it in different ways.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm smiling over here. I know what you're saying. I think it's also important to discuss, once someone comes through your program of working with you, Martina, or maybe with you, Rebecca, and then they get back into the environment of the judgment, of the small thrones being thrown, maybe it's giant boulders. How do you protect your energy?
So I would just say I've worked with Martina particularly on this, and it's quite interesting that a lot of empaths can often have kind of quite a porous aura where other people's energy can stick to them. And so you can walk into a room and you can feel other people's energy, and that's why you can get claustrophobic or feel very tired when you've just gone to a station or just gone to work, because you suddenly feel drained. And I didn't understand that feeling for a long time. So I think it's really important to have an aura shield, or to understand the personality type you are, or what sort of energy that you can be naturally exposed to if you don't know how to protect yourself. And then I would also say my understanding of energy is that people are at different frequencies. You know, not everyone's having the best life at the moment, which is sad. And so their subconscious thoughts might be depressed. And some people might be in the best stage of their life. They might have had a spiritual awakening and their energy is really high frequency. And sometimes, you know, you can think somebody's odd or somebody's a bit off, but actually something's not right with them. You don't get a good feeling about them. And it's just because they don't know how to manage their own energy.
Very true. You know, something I wanted to share, which just happened today, actually. I was invited someplace after the show. I'm really an introvert. I don't feel comfortable being with groups of people. I'm good one-on-one or one with two. And so I was invited to this party and I thought, I really don't want to go. I really don't want to go. And I thought, well, if I go and I bring that energy, that's not fair to take that and bring that to this party, this gathering. So I've decided I have to change my energy, because otherwise it's not fair for anyone. And I'm probably not going to have a good time. And I'm going to bring my not good time over to them. Martina, what do you think about that?
Yeah. And they invited you because they wanted your good vibes. They wanted your good energy. That's why we get invited to the 4th of July parties and to the holiday parties and to the weddings and whatever special events are happening. We get invited because they want our good vibe. And that's knowing thyself, isn't it? It's really important, and good for you. Congratulations. And some days, you know, like Rebecca said, it's so true. That's when we're in tune with our own flow and we realize, you know what, today is just not a good day for me to do that. Thanks for the invite, and I'll catch you next time. Because we always want to be flowing positively and sharing positively.
To the point you just made, I think this is really important. If you feel that you cannot show up and it's one day, then it's 2 days, then it's a week, when is it that you need to get in touch with someone like yourself?
Yeah, sooner the better, because, you know, many times clients come and they've been a long time in this state, and then it takes, you know, a little bit of time to get them out of that. And what I really love is to teach people before they get into the negativity. So to teach people when they're healthy, to teach people when they're aware, like, oh, maybe it's something that is, you know, like Rebecca said, I'm more aware of it, or I'm understanding it more, to teach people, because there is so many ways to shield yourself. There is so many ways to clean yourself. There are so many easy daily protocols. You know, in the first level of training that's offered, we teach you 10 different ways to protect yourself and to shield and to flow. So that, and you can do those in 10 minutes a day. And 10 minutes a day, let's face it, it's a very short period of time. And then you're in your best frequency. So you can clean before you go out into the world, and you can clean when you come back home. So you don't take on the energies of others, and you're able to stay in your most positive, because at the moment of birth, we were all born in a perfect state of being. We want to be in that every day.
Yay to that. Agreed. Now, how does protecting ourselves, if at all, intersect or align with what we're wearing?
So I would say that, as Martina is saying, it's about being in the flow of authenticity and what resonates with your inherent vibe. So, for example, I used to wear a lot of the time really harsh, dramatic prints when I was quite down, or when I was kind of chasing things all the time. And what I noticed is, actually, somebody said to me, I thought I knew everything about sort of color schemes because I had studied it, and I said, no, my style is dramatic, and that's what I wear. Okay, that's who I am. And somebody very kindly, a very amazing personal stylist, said to me, you know what, you don't actually suit pillar box red or dogtooth, and you actually suit softer coral, softer colors. And I tried it, and it took years off me, and these sort of lighter tones mixed with a bit of a darker red suited me so much more. And so I think that it's really important, if you want to improve yourself and self-improvement and operate at a higher frequency, you have to be willing to change and adapt. You know, there's no point doing all this energy work and then being regimented in some of your views, and this is how I want to be for the rest of my life. For me, I had to change how I dress, how I communicate, how I respond. And so that's why, you know, Passage to Poise is the journey. It's called Preparing You for the Catwalk of Life, because we're giving you the coping mechanisms from what you wear and from within.
Thanks, Rebecca. Yeah, I appreciate that. And congratulations on finding your new color palette. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So a question I have for both of you that combines the work I think that both of you do is, so I'm here on an island, as I've mentioned, we have people who are coming just for the holiday. And let's say you have a dress that's a size 4. I've seen people who are maybe a 10 in the size 4 and standing proudly, feeling really good about themselves. And I think to myself, wow, I wish I felt that good about myself. So what are the rules and guidelines when it comes to showing up as your authentic self and saying, I don't care what everybody else says. I don't care what the manufacturer of this dress, they made it for this particular size. I'm in it, I'm wearing it, and I feel good. Martina?
Yeah, it's about how you feel. It's about how you choose to express yourself. Sometimes that, is inappropriate, right? They're going to a beach party, that's probably very, very appropriate, right? If they're going to a formal, ceremony, then there may be guidelines around that. So it's about, a little bit of awareness has to come in here. But it sounds like the person you're speaking to is just being a proud expression of themselves, and they're being in that moment, and they're enjoying themselves. And you can see that coming off their energy field as you meet them, as you walk down to meet them.
It's so true. And you can also see the negative energy from other people standing, watching the person going by, gossiping, and all that low level negative energy.
Absolutely.
Rebecca, what would you like to add?
I just think that, some of Martina's services are really interesting. The lineage of King Solomon in the Mystery School, and they talk about understanding yourself and the application to the wider world. So I would just like to ask Martina a bit about the lineage of the Modern Mystery School, and how such a prestigious lineage of Mystery School can resonate with Joe Bloggs on the street, who doesn't know what energy is or doesn't know what high frequency means.
Yes, thank you. So we work with, I like to say it's a team, because I'm not here, I'm here today looking at on this show with you as an individual, but I'm not alone. I've come through years of training with people who have done this and have done it from one generation to the next. So that immediately, when I'm at the lineage, it immediately assured me that it works, because it stood the test of time. And the people, the ancients, if we go back a few generations, great-great-grandparents, they understood energy. They had a lot more respect. They had a lot more awareness. And they worked with the energy of nature, and they worked with the energy of the universe. And that was in their upbringing. And in the lineage of King Solomon, we work with a system of teaching, a system of healing that has been tested. It's been scientifically tested and proven based on the energetic structures, on the mental, emotional, and the fields within the human being. And that doesn't change. That's the same from the first person that came on the planet until the last person, because we all have energy. So we can pretend that we don't know energy exists, or we can become very aware of it and work with it and flow with it. So our sessions are available to everybody who wants to be aware and wants to be responsible and wants to enhance their energy.
Thanks, Martina. And great question, Rebecca. Martina, are you able to work with someone virtually through a medium like we're doing today on this platform?
I work with coaching, yes, but the deep work is done in person. And we have practitioners all over. So we're an international organization. So I'll be able to connect people with people in different areas.
That's fantastic. And to sign up with you, what does that process look like for you and your team, for people to come on board?
Well, first we have to make sure that it's right for you, because you have to want to work. I always use the analogy of a gym membership. You can give somebody a gym membership, but it doesn't mean that they're going to go to the gym. So that's the first thing we do. I do that. I can do that over the phone. And we set up a coaching call, as I call it, or an introductory, and we figure out what you want to do, how you want to do it, how fast, because some people want to go fast. They want to immerse themselves. More people want to go slowly. And we establish that, and we unravel what it is that they need to actually address, what needs to be done, because everybody is very different. And once we do that, then we set up which is the right thing. Sometimes people need a little bit of healing. Some people need the teachings right away, the training, and they need to get right into doing the work for themselves. So it's bespoke, and every human has their own footprint of the life they lived. So it's unique to them where we start.
Excellent. So we're not signing off, but I want people to know they can reach out to you via your email address, which is right here on the screen. It's your first and last name @outlook.com. So Rebecca, I'm so happy that you brought Martina to the platform. I'm so happy that you're here also in this role as co-host. Tell our audience some of the key takeaways that you've had, Rebecca, from getting to know Martina and being part of her program and process.
Yeah, so I would say that Martina has been an amazing blessing in my life. And I now believe that there are no coincidences and that people cross your paths for a reason. I think that before I met Martina, I didn't know what the word energy meant. I was told that, you know, I do have an ability there that could be enhanced, but I do believe through Martina's services that and bespoke sessions that anybody and everybody, if they're open, can become attuned. Yes, some people might have more gifts than others in that area, but they can be worked on, developed through meditation and various exercises. And I would say that, you know, if you're struggling with depression or anxiety, yes, by all means see your doctor, which I would always advocate. But I also think that looking into your environment and what you expose yourself to, whether that's relationships, friendships, TV, and if anything is dragging your energy down and you don't understand why you're feeling a blockage while you're going for goals or going for things. And I just think the beauty of Martina's services is there's things that, you know, you just might be feeling really deeply unhappy for a long period of time and never know why. And just being aware of your energy field and then you can manage it daily has changed my life.
I love hearing this testimonial. That is fantastic. Congratulations to both of you on that. What I'm wondering is for people who are out there watching or people who are out there listening and they want their life to change, they want to understand more about their own energy, but they don't want to change anything. They don't want to do anything differently. You hear this all the time, people complaining. It's like, okay, well, here's an opportunity for you to do something. How do you literally break them open, I guess, so to speak, so that all of that negative energy pours out and some beautiful new energy can flow in? Is that a long time process? Martina.
Well, I give people a choice, and I do breakthrough calls, and that's why I start with the call rather than an in-person, because we got to make sure we understand each other. And in the call, once because you can hear that energy is spoken and it's unspoken. So there's some questions we can ask, and then they identify, like you say, well, I want the result, but I don't want to change. Then I tell them, okay, then the price that you're going to pay at the end of your life, are you going to be okay with that? Are you going to be okay when it's the last days and you're realize that you spent 20 years sitting in the same conversation? If you're okay, then you're okay. If you're not okay, then you got to go think about it, because you know there's so many sayings, but you can't have you can't have I think the first time I heard this was when I was in Switzerland. They have a saying there, you can't have your piece of bread and your franc in together. So you have to have one or the other, and you have to make that choice. So you can't have your size 0 jeans, Rebecca will tell us, if you're going to eat all the chocolate every day, all day. It won't work. You'll have them, but you won't be able to wear them. So it's a choice. And then I give people permission to make that choice, because it truly is a choice. You choose every day. And once you're ready, and many times people come back. Once I had a client, she came back 7 years later. She said, okay, I'm ready. And I was like, okay, let me go check my CRM. And sure enough, I had done a phone call with her 7 years earlier. I was like, okay, let's go.
That's incredible. But that openness is what would be the key to a breakthrough actually happening, right?
Absolutely. And it's your choice. It's, it's like somebody can give me a membership to go to the gym, but I have to choose to get up when the alarm goes off. It's the same in every area of our life. It's the same in college. I signed up, but I still had to choose to drive and go in and sit in the class. And then I had to do my homework. So in every area of our life, it's the same. And our energy is, we can allow life to pull us forward, or we can be very in tune and be very prepared and be aligned with our energy and live life alive.
Excellent. Thank you. Rebecca, any questions you have?
I would just like to know a little bit more about the Tree of Life, which is something that is within the lineage as well. Could you just expand on that, please?
Well, how long do I have here? Because that's
Yes, it's
Okay, so that's about decluttering. Energy flows up and down. We know the chakras very well. As above, so below is up and down, and we talk about the chakra system, and you'll hear that. But we also have the Tree of Life in our structure, and that's as within, so without. So whatever is in me, in my mind, this is where manifestation, works. I send it out before me and I attract it in. So it's as within, so without. That'll be the most simple version. And that is a whole field of study. That is several years of study. And it is very, 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 very powerful.
Thank you. I look forward to hearing more about that sometime. Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you. An area I'd love to have you both touch on is when it comes to our energy, what about what we're putting in our body? What about what we're breathing in? What about what's surrounding us in addition to the people who are there? What about all those other things that every day we have to make a choice about? I'm going to start with Martina.
Oh,
absolutely. You if you want to be positive, then your living space has to be that way. Your office space has to be that way, as well as the people. And if, whatever, you have to have beauty. You have to, what we refer to is good and beauty. Do you have goodness around you? Is it reflecting that back to you? Like your clothes, if you're wearing nice clothes, you feel good. Your posture changes. And what you eat, yes. Some of my clients, I actually, right in the beginning, because I had this happen. I did not realize what my genetics were made up of, and I cannot eat carbohydrates. And there's certain foods, my body just stores them because I have this famine gene in me. And I actually, after a lot of discovery work, found a system where it tells you what you can and can't eat. So I was able to shed a lot of weight once I discovered what works for my body. And I do that sometimes with my clients right at the beginning. I tell them, if you're going to go deep to knowing yourself, then you can't suppress with food your physical body, because that's the vibration that we have, the vehicle, the framework to work with. And I just met her actually about 3 or 4 weeks ago, a client. It was actually a client's client that got referred to me because they got a little stuck and she got sent to me. And immediately when I met her, I said, okay, you're contaminating your body with food, and the foods you're eating, it doesn't work. And she went off and did the genetic testing that we recommended. And she came back and she said, I no longer, my blood sugars are perfect. I feel so good. And she had lost something like you do pounds, right? Maybe like 60 pounds of weight, and had gotten rid of several different conditions that she had since she was a teenager as a result of this. So yeah, what you eat, what's around, everything, energy is everything.
Thank you, Martina. Rebecca, what are your thoughts?
I think like my own experience was when I felt down, I would binge and eat a lot, and I always felt sluggish and I was very unfit. And then I put myself on a detox of turmeric and ginger and loads of water and cut out carbs and sugar only recently. And it was awful. To be honest, no coffee, no carbs, no sugar, but I felt like I was shedding a skin. And Buddha said, which is different, but it says to survive, a snake sheds its skin, and you must shed your past like you shed your skin. And so I tried to see it like, I'm moving on, I'm detoxing internally and externally. And I think internally, how you can detox is being mindful of what you listen to, what you you watch, who you associate with, places that you go. And I think that's why a lot of people say they have a spiritual awakening in their late 20s, because some things just don't fit with them so well, because their energy is shifting into a new decade of their life. And so to manage that sort of tender transition from the 20s to 30s, I've become more mindful of what I read and what I do.
Thanks, Rebecca. We're coming to the end of the show, which has gone by so fast, but I'd love to have each of you just share any tips or feedback that you have for our audience, and also how can people reach out to you and who would you like to contact you? I'll start with Martina.
Sure. You're most welcome to contact me. Email works best for me, martinacoogan@outlook.com. And contact me if you have a question, if you have a thought, if there's any way I can help you, because today is your day to take action. And every day that you don't take action is a day that you're losing in your life, and you don't have time to lose.
That's right. We're all about winning in terms of loving who we are and embracing who we are. Thank you, Martina. How about you, Rebecca? How can people reach out to you, and who would you like to contact you?
So I would like to be in touch with people who want to transform their wardrobe and to reflect their inner beauty as well. So at Passage to Poise on Instagram, or passagetopoise1@gmail.com, and Rebecca Styles 7, there's REBECCA. So you can reach out to me, drop me a message. We'll have a style call. We can do it via Zoom, and I'll educate you on clothes that fit and flatter you and colors that suit you.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. It's been an absolute pleasure being here with both of you today. Thank you for taking time on your weekend to be here. I urge everyone who's out there to contact these two beautiful people. That's why they're here, providing education, hope, and inspiration. Please do reach out. If you forget how, just look at the comments. The information is there. Please go over to our YouTube channel, which is USA Global TV and Radio, and subscribe so that you can be aware of all the shows that we have. And this show will be running again, or replayed probably 5 or 6 more times in the next few days. So you'll be able to catch it then. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.